2023 has been a pretty big year for transit projects in North America, from the opening of major transit projects like the Regional Connector in LA to the Skyline, the automated subway in Honolulu, as well as smaller transit projects like the Ogden Express BRT line opened up by UTA. But there's one project that really stood out from all the rest. Not for its impressiveness or its ability to provide transit to new areas, but for its controversy. San Francisco, no matter how you feel about the city itself, is one that in its core has a fairly comprehensive transit network in the center of the city. However, one of its biggest gaps when it comes to rail transit has always been the neighborhoods just to the north of Market Street, like Chinatown and North Beach. And yeah, these neighborhoods are served by the cable cars, but let's be real here. They mostly just exist as a tourist attraction and cost a lot to ride. So the city came up with a solution to solve this transit problem. The Central Subway project has been proposed within the city of San Francisco as early as the 1980s, with the idea behind it that it would create an easier connection between neighborhoods north of Market Street like Chinatown and North Beach and the neighborhoods south of Market Street. By the way, I'm not calling it SOMA, I hate these abbreviated neighborhood names. But quick spoiler here, the Central Subway wasn't built for another 40 years. While the project was approved in 2003, construction of the line didn't start until 2012. A lot of this coming from a lack of secured funding in the initial stages and threats of lawsuits that would continue throughout the construction phase of this project. This is San Francisco after all. Getting any projects done here is like pulling teeth. But anyways, after 11 years of construction, San Francisco would finally open its first subway line in over 40 years. The new Central Subway starts from 4th and Brannan and runs north through the 3 new stations on the line, those being Yerba Buena Moscone, Union Square and Market, and Chinatown Rose Pack stations. Just a quick note though, 4th and Brannan is a surface station, the line goes underground from there. This new extension receives services from Uni's T line, meaning that you can continue further south on the same train past 4th and Brannan and take the line to its terminus at Sunnydale Station. Now, in North America, we have a severe lack of cities with transit, and making transit improvements is always going to benefit a city. However, the Central Subway has had quite a few issues just besides its 11-year construction period. But you know what does have issues but didn't take 11 years to make? My Patreon, where you can get exclusive videos, your name in the credits, early access to videos, and much more. Links down below. Anyways, that's enough of my shameless plug, let's get back to the video. One of the major issues with the project has to do with the cost of it. Now this project ballooned quite a bit ever since it was first planned. The initial cost was estimated to be about $500 million. However, after all was said and done, it costed nearly $2 billion to finish construction on the line. $2 billion for a line that was less than 2 miles in length. Now, you could say that the cost of this line could be justified if it could generate enough benefit to the public, and I would be inclined to agree with you on that. But unfortunately, this line is already sharing ridership with local bus lines, and ridership numbers really haven't been high enough to justify the subway. With only about 13,000 daily riders during weekdays, this is a problem, but it could be solved with a future extension. Many have proposed for this line to continue north into North Beach, and then east over towards the Presidio through additional neighborhoods. This additional length would help increase ridership on the line, but solving this problem on the line would actually generate a whole nother problem for the service on the Central Subway. So these new stations that were built are incredibly deep, which added some additional costs to the stations. So they decided to save some money in the construction by making the platforms only able to handle 2-car trains. Now, with the lower ridership at the moment, this is totally fine. However, this would be a huge problem if ridership were to increase on the line. If the line was extended further to the north, it's likely they'd need to run 4-car subway trains in the tunnels in order to meet the demand. But with the new stations only able to handle 2-car trains, this would make it near impossible to truly meet the demand of the extension. This really kind of creates this huge problem that if you were to extend the line, you'd need to completely redo these brand new stations just to make sure that they could handle this increased capacity. And unfortunately, this project is also causing issues for Muni's budget currently. It's going to likely be an additional $15 million of upkeep to their budget for a minimal ridership increase from this project. I'm a huge fan of public transit, and I'm also a fan of building more of it, but this Central Subway is unfortunately a poor use of public funds for transit. Chinatown is a neighborhood full of people who live car-free, and an easy way that the city could have improved the transit accessibility in the neighborhood would have been improving one of the most important bus lines in the city of San Francisco, the 30, the Stockton line. It's already a trolley bus, which is awesome. And even better, it runs significantly more frequently than the subway does. And also on top of this, you don't have to go down into the subway stations, which I mentioned as before are incredibly deep. But if they had just given the 30 some upgrades such as bus lanes, improved bus stops, signal priority, for those of you who don't know what that is, that means that when the bus reaches a certain point, it's going to trip a sensor and turn the light green in front of it so it never has to get caught in a red light. If the city had decided to go with the bus improvement plan, it's likely that they could have seen the same kind of benefit, if not more, for a significantly lower amount of cost than what they did with the subway. And you wouldn't have incurred those $2 billion worth of cost to your system. And I know that Muni didn't incur all $2 billion of that cost. They got a bunch of state and federal grants, but still, that's a lot of money that they're still spending on upkeep for this new line. But unfortunately, we can't return government projects for a full refund, so we're gonna have to work around this for the future of San Francisco transit. And while in the future it's gonna cost a lot, I think Muni really just needs to bite the bullet on this one and commit to building that extension and rebuilding the existing stations so that way they can accommodate 4-car trains. Because all of the extension proposals have it going through some incredibly dense neighborhoods and also really popular tourist attraction areas. And let's hope they can do a better job with financial management if they go through with the new extensions. Now, this project isn't all bad. There are actually a couple of bright spots with this one. One of the real bright spots of this project is definitely how nice these stations look. I mean, seriously, just check this out. It's really impressive with how modern it feels, and hopefully people seeing these stations this nice will encourage people to want more modern and clean transit like this. Even though this project isn't perfect, I'm optimistic for the future of transit in San Francisco. It still has plenty of great modes to get around the city, from BART, the trolley buses, and the Muni Metro. And the city still has plenty of dense walkable neighborhoods throughout the entire city, even though many neighborhoods still need to be upzoned. However, that's a massive rabbit hole and a conversation for a future video. But how do you feel about the Central Subway? Have you ever used it? How do you feel about the future of transit in San Francisco? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Here's a thank you to everybody who helped me make this video. And here's a very special thank you to all of my patrons, especially Tony Stunts, who's in my Metro tier, as well as CC Marv MD, who's my newest patron in my Trolleybus tier. You patrons are the reason I can do what I do, and I graciously appreciate your support. And if you not only want to support the channel, but get early access to videos, exclusive content, and your name in the credits like these wonderful people, then you can join my Patreon. Links down below. Also down below, you'll find links to my other socials, including Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Guys, thank you all for watching the videos and supporting the channel. The support you guys have been giving me has been insane. The growth has been crazy, and I cannot believe it. You guys are awesome. Thank you all for watching my video today, and as always, I'll see you all in the next one. Have a happy holidays, and I can promise you there will be one more video out before the end of the year.